Hello all, we've discussed over 300 videos and possibly over 500 cryptocurrencies for over 2.5 years on this channel. However, I believe this video is the most crucial video thus far, and this narration will hold a significant position in history. Because the awareness of the project I'm going to explain is low, the number of views may be very low at first. Just watch for learning purposes. This video will consist of 4 parts. It will be a bit long but also enjoyable. Take your tea and coffee and watch it carefully by focusing. When I explain some projects, I start by saying if you know this project so that it is easier to understand. Do you know what you need to know before understanding the sculpture, Bitcoin or not? Yes, but not enough. We need to go further back. Exactly 42 years ago, David Choum invented his first wife, meaning electronic cash, because those were the years when my money started to need a digital environment. Let there be no confusion here. Calc, indicator, transfer, etc. of the money held in banks. It was only used in a digital environment in terms of accounting. Money was not essentially digital. Therefore, it started to develop the first job in order to make all financial transactions, starting from payment transactions, easier and safer. But he couldn't succeed. The biggest fundamental problem in his failure was the lack of the ability to be copied. Just as counterfeit money can be made in cash, there was a risk of making a counterfeit for the first job in the digital environment. Other reasons include people not embracing it, technological inadequacies, and deficiencies in legal infrastructure. But what happened? The basis of cryptography has been established, and exactly 15 years later, a new tech development has occurred. However, this development was not related to finance. Adam Beck created Hacash in the year 1997. Do not be deceived by the word cash in its name. As I mentioned, this is not a financial endeavor. The objective of Hacash was to prevent spamming in emails. You know, sending an email is a very straightforward process. You can easily and cheaply send millions of emails. The basic idea of Hacash's system was to require email senders to spend a certain amount of computational power for each email they send. Since this is also an expensive thing, it requires energy consumption, it has a cost. This system was blocking unnecessary email transmission. This system of Hacash was subsequently utilized in various fields. What is significant for us will be the portion utilized for digital currency in the future. The problem that Hacash wanted to solve was not very successful because it started to be solved with easier systems later. There were also 2 different initiatives a year later. The vision of eCash and Hacash were merged as a common point. Nick Szabo developed BitGold, targeting the financial field like BitGold eCash, wanting it to be used as a payment method. He also wanted it to be decentralized and to spend the same amount of processing power as in HKX. And he made the prototype of the first cryptocurrency that works with the proof of work system, but this prototype could not be fully realized. In the same year, he also designed a cryptocurrency called Veda. He valued decentralization and anonymity, but the technical infrastructure was hindering the feasibility of the project, and ultimately, he could not succeed in this project. In 2004, Arpao, collaborating with Satoshi, who previously worked on Bitcoin, is developing, also serving as inspiration for the proof-of-work mechanism in Bitcoin. It is developing parts like payment system privacy proof of work from its previous initiatives. Finally, he is trying to solve the scalability issue as well. Does this system work? Actually, it wouldn't be entirely accurate to say that it didn't work, but somehow it couldn't sustain its existence. And finally, 2008. First of all, something different was done from all the developments. The founder hid who it was, stayed anonymous. It was crucial to stay anonymous for a solution proposal with financial value, because the technical aspect of the job implied using software codes instead of relying on people. In such a case, if the person or persons were not anonymous, perhaps people would have looked at who they were before the white paper of Bitcoin. Maybe he'd be interested in his academic status or his personal life. Maybe it'd become a target, or if this becomes a financial revolution, the control of finance would be attributed to this person or people somehow. All the shortcomings in Bitcoin have been resolved in other entries. Positive aspects were taken, developed, and this time it can be implemented in a scalable and secure way with the conditions of that day, such as proof of work, limited supply, direct person-to-person transfer, block rewards. Bitcoin was adopted by me. Actually, there is not much difference between Bitcoin and Alpo, but while one project was not embraced with minor details, the other one was embraced. Of course, it wasn't embraced right away, but it started to be embraced after years. So, is Bitcoin a good venture? This is a crucial question. Bitcoin is definitely and absolutely a great initiative, a great product. Also, a very good idea. If there is a claim made about anything, there must be a comparison present there for sure. What is Bitcoin better than? For example, is the price in cash? He already said yes. But Bitcoin is better than all of them, including Arpao, B-Money, BitGold, and eCash with the conditions of that day. Are there no shortcomings of Bitcoin? Of course, Bitcoin also has its shortcomings. A new initiative is needed for both the shortcomings for today and the shortcomings that will be felt more in the future. If you think about this issue only technically, you will be wrong. That is, there is a scaling problem in Bitcoin. If you think that some projects are already working to increase this scaling, you will be looking from a very narrow window, because all the problems are not just technical parts. You can think of the durability of any type of money that comes to your mind in two separate categories. First, as we said, the technological part. Secondly, monetary policy, whether it is physical money or digital money, whether it is a valuable metal or a cryptocurrency. Both technology and monetary policy are equally important. Bitcoin enhanced both the technological aspect and the monetary policy aspects of the previous systems, bringing improvements to both areas. But if everything that is done had to be the best forever, Bitcoin wouldn't exist right now. Now I think there is something better than Bitcoin. I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating, I'll just be expressing my own thoughts. I think both in terms of the technology and the politics of money, it is better than Bitcoin. Now we'll proceed to the second part, and in it we'll discuss how this solid money should be. You can consider this section as a small break, but definitely don't skip it. We also require the information here to comprehend the final parts better. How can you clarify the limited fault characteristic of Bitcoin to someone who is unfamiliar with how the currency of their current country of residence is produced, printed, or used? Or how can you explain the importance of being able to produce Bitcoin through mining? The better we know the characteristics of money, the better we know the good aspects of Bitcoin. We cannot ignore its shortcomings. BTW, don't think that Hacash finds Bitcoin unnecessary or ignores it just because the comparisons and examples are always based on Bitcoin. Contrarily, it has a mechanism that adds value to BTC too. Now let's examine the features of the money and make a comparison. Interpret this table. In the next section, we'll continue to look at this table by adding Hcash to it. Now let's look at a few different features from the simplest to the easiest part, or from the most critical part to the most difficult part. Among currencies, we can say there are 4 different currencies or values. We'll compare them. First, cash. Secondly, digital currency. Thirdly, gold. And fourthly, Bitcoin, as I mentioned. Then we will add H-exchange to it, and we will also make a comparison. Because durability is physical with physical money and paper, larger portions have lower amounts. We cannot say that gold is low because it is physical, but it is not very high either because it is a strong metal. But both digital currency and Bitcoin have no barriers in terms of durability, as they are in virtual environment. There is no divisibility on paper money. $100 is $100, $10 is $10. But imagine that you have a paper $100 in your hand in the digital parade. And imagine you have $100 in your bank account. You can only use $100 as $100. I'm not talking about getting change. But when you die twice, you won't have $250. But if you desire, you have the option to utilize the $100 in your bank account, incorporating values such as $5, $10, 3 cents, and 5 cents. Details of 5 cents and 3 cents are crucial, can be divided as desired, but as it's not easy to divide, this feature remains at a low level. In Bitcoin, however, this divisibility goes up to 8. In short, I will go into the details again, of course. You are not obligated to have a Bitcoin or to transact with a Bitcoin. You also have the ability to trade using 0.1 Bitcoin if you choose. You can also do it with 0.01. The destination of this can be 0.0001. So it can be moved by 8 digits using 7.01. If we calculate that the current price of Bitcoin is $60,000, the worth of the smallest unit, which is 7.01 Bitcoin, can be lower than 1 cent. But if Bitcoin reaches $600,000 today, even the lowest unit will be 60 cents when it reaches $6 million. This can also lead to major difficulties. The best part of Bitcoin is the inability to create counterfeits. Bitcoin cannot be counterfeited. Bitcoin has a very good feature, one of the features that makes Bitcoin. I don't consider price in cash or digital currency. Counterfeit money can be made. We see counterfeit of digital money from authorities already. Gold cannot be counterfeited. Gold, there is genuine gold. There is also counterfeit gold. But there may be difficulty in discrimination. One of the important features is portability. Digital currency can be easily transported. Bitcoin or other virtual currencies are like that. But carrying gold and pricing cash is a bit problematic. The downside of ownership is a lone digital currency. As I mentioned earlier, you possess physical cash. If you have $100 in your pocket, it is yours. No property right in the digital parade. Money in someone else's possession, in another safe. In gold and Bitcoin, if you have gold, it is yours. If you have Bitcoin, it is yours. It doesn't have to be in someone else. Of course, I'm not talking about keeping Bitcoin or altcoins in banks or safes or keeping Bitcoin on exchanges. But you can have it yourself. But in no way is digital money yours. Privacy. Privacy is at a moderate level in Bitcoin here. But you can think of this as very private and confidential in Bitcoin. Actually, it's not like that. Because transfers can be tracked in Bitcoin, there are also privacy-focused currencies. You know, one of the biggest coins is Monero. It was even banned because it was privacy-focused. Bitcoin is not privacy-focused. It can be tracked by all which wallet it was transferred from and to which wallet. However, in cases where there is no exchange of wallets, the ownership is unknown. Therefore, if it is below intermediate level, there is no tracking mechanism. That's why it has a high level of privacy. Never in digital market. All control in hands of authoritarians. In terms of physical cash, we can say it's moderate. There are some main serial numbers, but it's a bit difficult to track them in the market. Only when there is a problem with very large amounts, it can be partially tracked. Transparency is exactly what I just said about Bitcoin. This feature of Bitcoin is transparent. Because the fact that which wallet transferred how much and when in Bitcoin is recorded in an unerasable way, transparency is high. Not only the transfer part, but also how much it is in total, how much it is in the market, and so on. All of these can be learned transparently. So we call it transparent because everyone is open. Underneath, since we know that gold is a valuable metal, we can have an approximate idea of how much it is worth, how much each person has. But in digital currency and price currency, who produces it, where it is produced, how much is produced, how much counterfeit is made, how much each person has, and how much has been transferred from whom to where. It is not very possible for us to know this in physical money or digital money. Let me not enter all the remaining items. Let me tell you the features. You also know the features. Let me explain by combining it with you. Moreover, Bitcoin has a mechanism that anyone can produce, while none of us can produce other currencies ourselves. And it is not in the hands of any authority. Please don't misunderstand me when I say it's not in the hands of any authority. Those who give more money can have more Bitcoin, but when selling, we're discussing production a bit more. Today, the dollar, the euro, the ruble, the new Turkish lira, etc. We don't know where, when, how much they are produced, and they are all produced by an authority. With certain policies, both right and wrong, it is actually not special. The same applies to digital currency. Because our individual production opportunity for gold is actually very low, gold is not special enough even though it has a partial feature. Decentralization, just like Bitcoin, is not controlled by any authority, as we all know. And the operation is also decentralized. So today, in order for me to send someone a Bitcoin, I don't have to first send that Bitcoin to a bank or an intermediary institution and then send it from there to there. I have the capability to send it directly to the other party. I have the ability to do it like this underneath as well, but it is not the case in the others. So when I want to send money today, for example, when someone wants to send money to someone, it goes through certain channels. If we talk about abroad, first the money I will send from here goes to my bank. The bank's accounting approves it. It goes to the central bank. From there, it goes to the central bank of the other country through the shift lever. From there, it goes to the recipient's bank, and then the money goes to his account. There is such an accounting transaction between different banks within the same country. Even if it is the same bank, it first goes to the central bank, then back to the account of the same bank. In this section, we'll only explore hedgehogs. We'll make comparisons and cover the fourth and final part of the evaluation. Now, let's start looking at what everyone is. In 2018, sales were made by a person like Nakamoto, but this time there is no fake name in the middle. There are only presented documents. Hacash project is a 3-layer network and consists of 3 different cryptocurrencies. I'm stating it one by one to avoid errors. Having 3 layers is different. Working with 3 cryptos is a different matter. We will delve into the specifics of both of these. Let's begin with 3 cryptocurrencies initially. The first one is known as HAC Coin or hard coin. Now read it however you want. This cryptocurrency falls into the category I call Star of War, but its sole purpose is not just to create value, but also to be a means of payment. Moreover, akin to BTC in the Bitcoin realm or in other forks such as Litecoin, etc. and so on. I aspire to be like them. HAC Coin is mined and the first cryptocurrency that can be burned despite being produced through mining. There is also no maximum limit to its supply. However, the maximum number of HAC Coin that can be produced in the first 66 years is 22 million. The second one is HAC Diamond, written as HDL. This is purely to serve as a value tool. Think of it as a coin or think of it as an NFT. The result will be the same. There are nearly 17 million people going to Hajj and the number is limited. The third one is Bitcoin. In the first part, while recounting the historical evolution process of cryptocurrency, it actually appeared that Hacash would emerge as the subsequent era following Bitcoin's dominance. It is like it is going to disable it, like it is a project that wants to disable Hacash Bitcoin. It's standing but not like that. When Bitcoin emerged, it didn't leave the dollar out. Familiarity with the dollar is necessary for the transition to occur, in fact. Hacash has also been so involved with Bitcoin in the same way and has given such a place to Bitcoin in its ecosystem. You will understand how good of a system it is even for Bitcoin when you hear it. Now let me try to explain the part we call three-layered. The first layer represents the HAC blockchain where HAC and HAC Diamond are produced. It also uses some common algorithms with Bitcoin. For example, Easy Durable, X16RS algorithm or wallet algorithm. The second layer can be conceptualized as a channel where real-time payment transactions without any scaling issues or challenges occur. On the third layer, decentralized applications can be developed. It can be thought of as a layer that opens up to Web3. This is the part that can be integrated with cross-chains. The Hacash system is like this in Kabatas. Now I will go into some details. The part that affects me so much affects me a lot and actually causes me to see a lot of potential is hidden in the details. When it comes to the oscillation mechanism of HAC Coin's coin, let's first examine the tokenomics model that is most liked, considered the most fair, or proven to be the most belongs to Bitcoin. Of course, I'm talking about general judgments. Why? Bitcoin has no pre-sale and there is no pre-miner. Since the publication of the white paper, everyone has had the same and equal conditions. And he has a current issue. You know that block rewards are beginning to decrease because of the number of blocks created over an average period of 4 years. Starting with a 50 BTC reward, block rewards decreased to 25, 12.5, and 6.25 BTC. In a month, the block reward in Bitcoin will decrease to 3,125, a rule that has been clear since the first day and that no one can change. Hacash says in his white paper as follows, saying that a cryptocurrency is being produced through mining, that it does not have pre-mining, and that block production rewards start from the top and constantly decrease is not fair enough. For a fairer system, he suggests the following. Actually, I'm not referring to the suggestion, but to each person's mining system. In the early years, we should give the mining award less, because we should not give plenty of mining rewards without enough people accessing it. It gradually increases for a specific period of time. This period is a 6-year period of time. After that, it is the same for 10 years, continuing to decline slightly in the next 10 years. It continues to decline in the next 10 years. And finally, it continues by giving less importance as much as the first headline. And there is no limit. Actually, it can continue forever. But the absence of a border does not mean that it can be printed as much as desired at any time. As per this mechanism, the number of coins reachable in 66 years is about 22 million. Following that, production can proceed in limited quantities. I believe I will never be capable of attaining this figure. Because the number of coins produced so far is 1.4 million, while the number of coins in circulation is 683k. Because the cross coin can be burned. How is it burned? Why is it being burned? One of the key parts is here. We said that it separates the means of payment and value. We can think the same for money and gold today. When we want to save, evaluate, or lend money, we do it with gold. Value is a tool. In fact, the situation for Bitcoin is exactly between these two, i.e., it started to turn into a store of value after emerging as a peer-to-peer payment method with inadequate technology but good monetary policy. To get across permanently, a valuable asset with limited supply, bid on the open market using a cross sheep. In return, the cross sheep is burned, decreasing its availability. The source of money is unlimited and the control is centralized. When purchasing a valuable vehicle like HAC Diamond, if the payment we make is being converted to the value beekeeper, while being produced with mining on one hand and controlled supply of the vehicle on the other hand, it is burned from the market, thus ensuring scarcity and maintaining its value. This mechanism ensures that the supply of the vehicle remains limited, making it a desirable and potentially lucrative investment for buyers. We can purchase more gold by pressing more, but we cannot produce more cross coins to get additional cross diamonds. The rules work like this here. Let's move on to another amazing feature. We can consider this feature as a great feature within Bitcoin, in terms of the contribution it provides to Bitcoin. Now there is a Bitcoin network, and there is a coin called BTC in this network. Low TPS values, high filters, etc. You know that many scaling projects are trying to solve this problem. We also mentioned that BTC can operate on the first layer of the Hacash blockchain. Actually, there is such a situation. All BTCs in this network, if this network is actually moved, the scaling problem in Bitcoin would be solved. This problem can be easily resolved without the need for any verification, material constraint, bridging, or anything else. What about a cryptocurrency with a market value of trillions? How can you achieve this? This is crucial. If we convince all Bitcoin owners and they all move simultaneously, Bitcoin will become faster, fees will be lower, etc. The market is competitive. How will you succeed? This is important. I think Hacking System has a brilliant solution. A feature called BTC transfer. I'll explain it now. One-way Bitcoin transfer works like this. You have one BTC and it is currently on the Bitcoin network. Hacash uses the same algorithm as the Bitcoin wallet algorithm. We already said this. The network also supports BTC in the first layer. We said this too. You can create a wallet on this network and transfer BTC here, but then you can't transfer it back to a Bitcoin wallet instantly. So the BTC in Bitcoin can be a BTC in Hacash, but you can't send the BTC in Hacash back to Bitcoin instantly. Here's the critical point. Here it is. Technically, you still have one BTC. No problem with that. This time he's working on a different network. I can provide you with the closest example similar to this. You are holding a tether. You have the ability to instantly swap something that is equal to $1 in both Ethereum and Tron domains, as many exchanges and networks support it. If you have BTC, it's no longer in the Bitcoin field, but in the hedges field, supported by centralized exchanges like Dexter. It may not mean much to you because it doesn't exist. Therefore, this situation involves some risk, especially at the beginning. There is certainly a counterpart to this risk. If you are the first person to transfer BTC in the hedges field in the Bitcoin area, you will earn 1,048,000 hedge coins in total, 1024 hedge coins per week for 1024 weeks, and the Bitcoin trace will also remain with you at the same time. For example, instead of the first Bitcoin, Bitcoins are now being sent and you have 100. You earn a weekly 1024 length for 16 weeks from Bitcoin holders to this network. With this incentive mechanism, the Bitcoin amounts in Hacash are growing and BTCs are gradually being transferred to this network. By the way, this feature is not active yet, but developers have started testing networks. It has another feature. They may not seem as crucial as others, but they are crucial in the long term. In the prior section, we could have divided the part we discussed and compared. First, let's review the price again to reinforce it. If the dollar were only $10, $20, or $100, the financial part of our lives would be really difficult. We could always have to buy gum as change. If we didn't have values like $1 to $2 cents, when we give $10 and get something worth $3 to $5 or $7, we would have to take the change in a different way. That's why 110, maybe 1 CT, provides a great advantage in financial terms. 1 cent has a value of 1% of a dollar. When we look at the numerical part, it has 2 digits in the divisibility part. We discussed the divisibility feature in Bitcoin as 8. Therefore, you have the option to utilize 7 zeros as a BTC, but it is not possible to have a greater number. There is no 01 BTC, no such unit. Can't use this. Bitcoin aims to provide peer-to-peer payment capability and become a globally accepted currency. If successful, Bitcoin's value could increase significantly, and the smallest unit, the 701 BTC portion, could be worth $1 to $2. This could cause problems in daily payment methods, regardless of other issues. Certainly, this situation is completely associated with visions and long-term issues. Bitcoin really has an additional vision problem. Possibly one of the most remarkable features observed up to this point is the restricted availability of 21 million units. The paycheck system looks at it this way. There will be no incentive for miners who want to run this Bitcoin supply in the future. Without incentive, this can be a clear problem. Perhaps it will persist for 50 or 100 years, but ultimately it will occur. We said HedgeCoin is a payment tool and hedge fund is an asset tool. Now let's discuss the relationship between these two and the problem that the limited supply in Bitcoin will bring in the long term. We mentioned that Hedge Diamond has limited supply, but in order to produce Hedge Diamond, a bid must be made for HedgeCoin in the auction, and 10% of the bid is given to miners and about 90% is burned. HACcoin, designed as a payment instrument, and this system, designed as a value instrument, provide a practical payment instrument and a balanced price policy that ensures stability and facilitates efficient transactions, making them reliable options for users in need of secure and convenient financial solutions. If we briefly think about why HACcoin's supply balance price policy, or why it is so good for the HAC system, it is actually not a very new idea or a very extraordinary invention. There is a situation regarding the reconstruction of the monetary policy, which has existed for centuries or should have, but has been disrupted in a way that will not be. What do I mean? Referring to the monetary policies of the states. For instance, let's assume the US Treasury printed $10 trillion and there are 5 billion ounces of gold in exchange for this money. America needs to increase the amount of gold in the Treasury in order to be able to produce dollars again. So this is what should normally be. This is the correct monetary policy that should have been or should be implemented in advance. Let's say they want to print 2 trillion more. Actually, it needs 1 billion ounces of gold for this. If he can have it, he can print the money under normal conditions. Not only valid for America, situation should be for all countries' institutions printing money. But you know, it's not done like this anymore. It has become something printed without payment. This leads to global economic crises. In hedge system, we can replace dollar with cross sheep and cross diamond with gold. Though relationship isn't progressing fully this way, balance between them yields same result. We had a table where we compared the features of the money. Now let's look at his comparison again with the hedges part. Durability is high like Bitcoin, of course, as it operates in a blockchain area with proof of work. We've explained how to divide, but not how much. Bitcoin can be divided into 8 digits. Hacash can be divided into 248 digits with no problem. The only difference is that Hacash can't be created like Bitcoin, but it's still very easy to carry, and ownership rights are still tied to Bitcoin. One difference is the cost. This is a really nice and important feature. What did we say? Bitcoin transactions can be tracked and wallet transfers are always visible. We also gave an example from Monero. Monero is a privacy-focused cryptocurrency, a network where it is never clear which wallet sent how much coin to which wallet, and this actually led to its delisting from major exchanges recently. How is this system in Hacash? So are all transfers at Hacash secret, or can all transfers be tracked? Optional. Secret transfer can be made if desired. Transparent transfers can be made if preferred. What does this lead to if in the future states start to be used as the last part where money is converted into cash or as a means of payment? They can only accept non-secret transfers. You can disable secret transfers, but I made a transfer to you. I made an Hacash transfer to you. But we never want him to know that it came from me. In the end, it is an interspousal payment and we can do it secretly. Completely optional. You can use it either secretly or openly transparently. Transparency is high in this way. Justice in Bitcoin is good, and the reason we perceive it as the best is completely related to the coin's oscillation mechanism. Yes, Bitcoin has been public since its beginning, but if we were to do something like this today, I would be aware of it first, my close circle would be aware of it, and my friends who I developed it with would be aware of it. Or rather, we published it in the common digital space with everyone, but we will be the first ones to use it. The first users claim that the first production should be very easy and not easily producible because we are the first ones to use it. That's why the first productions, first block rewards, etc. are lower and then gradually increasing. After a point, it continues steadily for years and gradually decreases. That's why the system perceives it as fair. I also agree with this idea. I will not delve into topics such as productivity and sustainability individually in detail, because there is no scalability issue. Verbs are cheap, transfers are fast, decentralization is completely 0 or 100% as in Bitcoin, so it is completely decentralized here. Now, after examining this table, what Hacash is, what it aims to achieve, how it operates, and so on, we can say that we have some ideas about such ideas now. Now let's move on to the final part and try to make some evaluation. First, let's try to answer potential questions related to the project and its current status. For instance, a white paper was published in 2018 and it represents the project of an unidentified company. How can this project progress? So if we compare it with token projects, there is a team, employees, departments, and they are constantly working to improve it. This is a white paper and it is unclear who authored it. What will be the course of action for this project? This project is open source, just like Bitcoin. Anyone who is talented, knowledgeable, experienced, in other words, anyone who understands this can contribute to the improvement of this moment, but they cannot make changes as they please, because there are unchangeable rules in the source code. So there is no situation like trusting or not trusting any individual or group of people. The trust here is completely based on codes and established rules. Let's talk about whether this project will improve or whether HAC Coin or HAC Diamond will appreciate. Whether this project will develop or not depends entirely on whether the community will adopt it or not. So, it is entirely about the adoption of HAC Diamond by individuals who mine or invest in HAC Coin cryptocurrency, aiming to enhance the value and utility of HAC Coin for the community. No matter how perfect the plot is, if this adoption does not happen, the project cannot grow too much. Because if the community does not embrace, there is no team available to do marketing, organize various campaigns, and so on. This is a project that belongs to all and sundry and no one in particular. However, I embrace, I elucidate, you fancy, you narrate. There are additional groups they have put in, they narrate. Those who like it go and organize the event, they do the activity, they are a separate subject. No one has such a responsibility. Just like in Bitcoin, these kinds of things, there is also a marketing team in Bitcoin, so there is no team or anything like that. If you like it, if you embrace it, you tell, teach, announce. Or you are investing, or you are doing production at work. Already in these projects, there are websites that have been created entirely by communities, as well as Twitter pages or Telegram pages that have been created by communities. I'll answer another question I see. There's a chance of this problem. Why isn't a good project on major exchanges? Actually, I also provided this answer in the section. This project lacks a marketing team. So if listed on an exchange, either the exchange will list it or communities will raise money, have it listed on exchanges by paying listing fees there. For this reason, community projects like this are listed on exchanges with lower listing fees. So it starts there initially. What do I personally think regarding the future of the project? Let me explain. As mentioned, it's a project that can grow if the community adopts it, but I firmly believe this project will be adopted eventually. In fact, I will do everything in my power for this in the coming periods. For example, I requested connections to my 2 Tier 2 exchanges for listing. I also said the following when making a request to them. Some exchanges want to collaborate with content creators like us to attract new users. I also provided this advice to BingeX, one of them. If you list the HAX project, you have the potential to earn more than the listing fee within a short period of time by acquiring new users and receiving commissions from the volumes traded in HAC Coin. I stated this and shared the links with them for further research and project evaluation. We've also partnered with BingeX Exchange. Join using the link in the description for a 30% commission on our products. Next, after investing $100, there's an extra $5 bonus for the initial transaction you make. And after a certain pain, there is also a $30 bonus. I won't talk much about BingeX in this video. Already a long enough video, but I will shoot a different video to tell BingeX, should I buy HAC Coin? How much to buy if I should? Or how to get it? Let's discuss these a bit. First, imagine you've never bought any crypto, don't know what a bear or bull is, or what crypto is, etc. And you're aware of such a project. So you're watching this video, doing research, learning. What would you do? Do exactly what you're thinking. If you make a large purchase, maybe this project won't be valuable for 3 to 5 more years, and you'll think your money is wasted, so you'll try to sell and get rid of it ASAP. Let's assume you have not taken it from another perspective. This can cause you to experience the feeling you feel when you hear about Bitcoin in the 2010s, learn what it is and what it is not, and yet never purchase it. That's why it's best to return to the same subject, but make regular small purchases instead. For instance, as I haven't added to my DCA portfolio lately, I made a $100 addition this week equal to 5 weeks. I bought HAC Coin for $100. From now on, in addition to the regular DCA basket I created, I will start buying a separate DCA basket of HAC Coins worth $20 every week. Let's say, where can the potential value of a cross coin go? Let's talk. Now we've already compared Bitcoin. So you see it as the new Bitcoin, etc. we said. There will also be those who say you are exaggerating. Some will mock. No problem. Everyone can think as they wish. I don't get involved in these things. Hence, it could be right or wrong to comment on my price expectations without fully giving in to these thoughts. Our expectation may or may not come true. I will completely express my own thoughts as if no one has heard or known what I have just said. I currently have no expectations for the HAC Coin target in this bull process, but I think the value of one HAC coin will be between $5,000 and $25,000 in the range of 4 to 8 years. In the future, I'll continue to share videos or articles about the sculptor project or other details like the length of the cross or the diameter of the cross. Due to unexplained and unshown NFC sections, there are many things I couldn't explain or show. I know I haven't entered enough. Otherwise, it can take days to explain. We can explain NFT parts, how to set up a wallet. Even for someone who has never purchased any cryptocurrency, how can we obtain a tutorial for beginners? How can we empty it? How can we withdraw the wallet, etc. We can also make these types of videos. I will try to do these completely depending on the workload, and I will continue to be a part of this ecosystem. Because even if it grows really big, the community may not accept it, maybe years pass, and it may not even be on a list. But I will be a part of this ecosystem because I really love the philosophy of the system and the concept of fiction. Thank you very much for your patience for listening this far. Do not hesitate to provide us with simple support such as likes and comments. Let us be motivated to produce more and share more. Goodbye.